Do you ever have one of those weeks where just like the universe is sending you some kind of bizarre message, maybe wrapped up in disguise? So I had several times, actually over the last couple of weeks, where a leader that I was coaching or working with made a comment that said, I just need a Rosie in my pocket. And after a lot of laughter and thinking about what would maybe a bobblehead or something that sits next to you, in all seriousness, what do you mean by that? And what they said is, just these phrases and these things to say or to reground myself when I get stuck. And so we all need them, right? We all need reminders. We all need frameworks to help us go back to when our own humanity gets the best of us. And so I thought, in the interest of the spirit of a Rosie in my pocket, these are the conversations that I had consistently this week. And if any of this helps you, then fantastic. So with all that's happening in the world and how unsettling things can be, the tragedy that's going on in Ukraine and the ongoing pandemic and all the challenges that are happening around us, it can be really easy to get sucked into that. It can also be really easy to lose sight of what's good. And I'm not talking about tragic optimism. I'm talking about a realistic look at what is happening, a really thoughtful, reflective practice that we can do daily, that we can do for ourselves, that we can also share in our conversations with our family members around the dinner table or with our teams during our weekly or daily huddles. These are conversation starters that really help foster that spirit of growth, development, that even in the bad, there's something that we can learn, that we can take forward, as well as making sure that we are also not foreboding joy and that we are expressing gratitude, because that's what the bravest and most courageous among us do. So here are the 4 questions I invite you to think about. The first is just general. What are you grateful for? Even if you have to dig something that you're grateful for today. And then taking it from general to self. What went well for you today? Or if you're using this as a reflective practice for the past week, what went well over this past week? And then you can look at what qualities about myself am I grateful for, right? We have to start to appreciate our own gifts and qualities and not be so hard on ourselves. And then this is my favorite, call it F-Up Friday, but what are my biggest F-Ups or my squiggles and detours that brought me valuable lessons, valuable learnings? And what are those? And if you start to have these conversations, it normalizes things. We have these around the dinner table and ask my son to share. We all share. And I will tell you, if I want to do it for myself this week, as I think about, I'm asking others to do this, I will say I'm just really grateful for the work that I get to do every day. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my friends and community. There's really so much that I have to remind myself that is good, that I'm thankful for, that surrounds me. When I think about what went well for me this week, I was able to support so many people in getting out of their own way and just watching them come alive. And that just warms my heart and feeds my purpose. So I'm very, very appreciative of that. What qualities about myself am I grateful for? I would say my ability to get creative and lean into curiosity, even when things get cringy. I'm really appreciative of that and how that allows me to show up for the people in my life. And as far as my biggest F-ups or squiggles or detours, I will say that this week I was trying to manage so many different crises, plus the proactive stuff, and just things were coming left and right. And I got overscheduled a little bit. And that tends to happen from time to time. I've been really intentional about boundaries, but guess what? Sometimes our humanity gets the best of us. And so what I learned about that is that even though I have time blocked on my calendar for buffer time and I have time blocked for self-care, what I've learned is that mentally, sometimes when I see that and someone needs me or someone has a request of me that feeds my purpose, I look and go, oh, I can maybe work over that buffer time, or I can do my workout later, and then it gets away from me. So my lesson learned is now I have 2 filters that are now hanging on my computer. I don't know if you can read them, but this one says, do I really have the capacity? Like next time I have a thought of I'm going to schedule over something, I'm going, do I really have the capacity or not? And then the second is, what is the cost of taking this on? So I hope that my reflections from this week bring you any kind of insight or valuable lessons. And I encourage you to think of these for yourself and start practicing this, whether you journal or just mentally reflect. Invite this as a conversation tool for your teams, for your families. And I would love to hear what you're learning and what's opening up for you.